Hello, I am the MinorScaleTheorist, and this sounds way too formal. Our scene starts out with the crackling of flames in Koei Tecmo's symbol. After a few seconds, it switches to the murals found in Tears of the Kingdom, along with a melancholic melody. After this one phrase played through, I knew the music in this game was going to be great. A couple of the things that first stood out to me were the instrumentation and tonality of the piece. It's in a minor key, which makes it sound melancholic. You will commonly hear the minor key described as sad or dark. But it doesn't just sound like that. It also sounds beautiful. Partly the chords sounded beautiful with their added ninths, but also the harp and choir is such a pretty pairing. Speaking of the choir, I believe that it was a choice made by the composer to relate it to Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel of this game, I guess you could call it. Here's how. When you first boot up Tears of the Kingdom, what was the first thing that you heard? That's right, the ominous heartbeat and the choir. Except, the choir in Tears of the Kingdom is much more uncertain and creepy. In the trailer, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds nice. It is my theory that the choir is supposed to be interpreted as the telling of the imprisoning war. In Tears of the Kingdom, we got very little information about the imprisoning war. So, if it was uncertain in Tears of the Kingdom, and isn't in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, then the choir perfectly matches that with how they're singing. You don't even have to say anything. It can just be ahs and oohs. Oh boy, I'm still on the first 8 bars. Let's take a step back from all the microscopic details and focus on the big picture for a bit. The form of the piece follows an AAB pattern. The melody we just heard was the A theme. This melody, played in the A sections, is what I believe is the game's main theme. This isn't all though. We still have the B theme, which is just an interpretation of the Tears of the Kingdom main theme. The form found in the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment trailer is actually quite similar to the form found in the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity teaser trailer, which features an A-B form. So, not the same, but close. What pushes me over the edge in calling them similar is the use of the sections. In the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity trailer, the game's main theme is established in the A section. Then, Breath of the Wild's theme is played in the B section. In Age of Imprisonment's trailer, we get what I suppose is the game's main theme in the A sections. And then we get Tears of the Kingdom's main theme in the B section. Are we starting to connect the dots? Yes! The game's main theme is established, and then the game's main theme that Koei Tecmo is stealing from, legally, plays. So, while not identical, they are similar. Now, while the form being similar is cool, there's an even cooler detail that links Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. The theme that accompanies the trailer for Age of Imprisonment is actually a variation on the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity theme. You might be thinking I'm insane looking at both of the pieces of sheet music side by side. And you might be right. But you cannot deny the similarities. Both themes start on the flat 3, and both dip down to the flat 7 by way of the 2. The difference lies in the resolve. While in the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity version, our composer resolves to the 1, in the Age of Imprisonment version, he doesn't. It's almost like he took the first 3 notes of the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity theme, and then just went on a tangent from there. Okay, let's return to the microscopic details, because, trust me, there are some pretty cool ones in this piece. The melody that was established in the very beginning starts over an A minor chord. This sets an expectation. We know that we are in A minor. This moves to C major, the 3rd chord in the scale. The root of this chord is the flat 3 scale degree, or 3rd note in the minor scale. It is my personal belief that the flat 3 is the note that encompasses that minor sound. A minor scale just wouldn't be the same without that flat 3. If you don't believe me, take a look at the major and minor chords. What's the one note that changes? That's right, the 3rd note. That 3rd note is how our ears determine whether or not we are in major or in minor. Even though we are on that flat 3, the note which encompasses the minor sound, we are on a major chord, which makes it sound bittersweet. And I think that that is the feeling that the composer was really going for. Putting this one chord in so early is such a clever move. In the repeat of the phrase, we start on the 6th chord. The 6th chord is a common substitution for the 1, and is so beautiful every single time the composer uses it. This then descends smoothly to fall on this, a D dominant 7. You jazz nerds are probably getting pretty excited right now. You're probably thinking, it's a secondary dominant, and we're modulating to the key of G. Well, sorry, you're wrong. Instead, the composer uses the F sharp to imply an A Dorian sound, which always sounds heroic coming out of a minor key. Also, F sharp is one of the notes belonging to B minor, the key which we are modulating to, not G. Before we modulate though, this triplet vamp, vaguely reminiscent of the Tears of the Kingdom main theme, plays, giving us the other essential note of B minor, C sharp. Now the pivot notes have been set, cue the second A section. Oh my goodness, goosebumps every single time. This time, our theme sounds so much more hopeful and bright, even epic. But why? The brightness is achieved because of a modulation. If you're not sure what that means, pretty much it means switching the key of the piece. And all keys feel a bit different. Some feel dark and melancholic, like the first time we hear the theme. Others feel bright, like how we just heard the theme played. A helpful contraption to figure out the brightness and darkness of a key is called the circle of fifths. If we look at our piece, the original melody is in A minor, which is in the middle of the circle of fifths. This is halfway between bright and dark, so it sounds a bit more melancholic. Then, if we look at the second part, we can see that we've moved up to B minor, which is on the bright side of the circle of fifths. So right there you can see how the feel of bright epicness is achieved in the second run-through of the melody. I personally think it's super cool. Another thing of interest is the continuing idea of this motif. The epic feel that it gives really ramps us up for the next section. But before we get to the next section, we have another triplet idea that eventually lands on this C note. Then, all goes quiet. And as much as I would love to analyze this part of the song, I believe that Tears of the Kingdom main theme deserves an entire video to itself. And therefore, I'm gonna call it there. So, as a few last words, I'm not dying by the way, I personally am excited to see what music will accompany this new game, and am planning to analyze it as soon as it comes out. So, like and subscribe. But, what do you guys think? Do you think it'll be a good game, or not? Are you as excited for the music as I am? Tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. And, if you have any suggestions for what you might like to see me analyze next, throw a couple of those ideas down in the comments as well. And huge shout out to GameXverse Pro for letting me use his version of the trailer song. Go check out his content. He plays games and rips music. It's great. He also has a great version of the Donkey Kong Bonanza trailer, Mario Kart World trailer, and more. Anyways, that's all for now. As always, stay out of a minor mood, like, don't ring the bell, and subscribe for more. Another thing of interest to note, redundancy much? I'm gonna cut that. Fill in the time that it takes to watch the video. Don't text. You can't text. Okay, I've got to redo that. A helpful contraption to figure out the brightness and darkness of a key is called the circle of fifths. Move the page. Another thing of interest to note, I just really want to say that, it lands on this C note. Then, all goes quiet. Except for that car out there. Halfway between bright and dark. Dark. More like dork. Then the game's main theme, that coil. That's a fun word. Another thing of interesting is the continuing idea of this motif. This is a technique that most film and or trailers use to